Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for round 2 of the Champions Cup. This one, the Bulls taking on the Northampton Saints. Now, last week we did see the Bulls away from home. They were playing another premiership side in Saracens, and it definitely wasn't their best performance. Whereas for the Saints, they did go marching in. They were the home side, and they were able to get themselves a comfortable victory. So, different places on the table at the moment for these two teams. As you can see, Northampton sitting near the top of the bunch in second, and the Bulls, they have a minus 22 points differential that they would love to make up here at Loftus, which could be a big possibility. At the end of the day, we've seen the type of momentum that South African sides can create when they are the home side, so we'll have to wait and see if that is the case. Here, looking through at the starting lineup, it is looking strong for the Bulls. Gerhard Stennekamp, Aka van der Merwe, and Wilco Low as the tight head prop. Ruan Vermaak, as well as in the locking duo, JF van Heeren. He will be there as the number 5. Marcel Coetzee, Elric Low, and Cameron Heineken. I feel like that is definitely a combination that could win this Bulls side the game. They've got a lot of power and physicality across that loose forward trio. And Heineken, one of the standout players throughout the URC, perhaps he can do the same. And in the Champions Cup, Ambrose Papier at number 9 with Johan Goosen as the 10. David Creel in the midfield alongside Kanan Moody. Then Devin Williams out on one wing, Sebastian de Klerk out on the other, and Willie LaRue, the experienced head, at number 15 for this Northampton side. They go a little bit under the radar. They play some very nice rugby in the Premiership competition. We actually saw it at times throughout the Champions Cup last year that this team, when they put it together, can be extremely effective. So I do hope they bring that same intensity to this game. Maiana Vanua, the big Fijian lock alongside Lockett, who has the perfect name for that number 5 jersey. Then you've got Augustus at number 8, Alex Coles at 6, and Pollock as the number 7. Alex Mitchell and Finn Smith as the 19 combination. Slate Home, we saw what he was able to do for the English very recently with Tommy Freeman and also George Furbank. So quite a few of these men getting international minutes throughout 2025. Dingwall in the midfield alongside Hutchinson as well. But in the chat, we have got looking forward to this game from Jan Lou and also Henry Pollock, Northampton Saints. Says Marco there. But that's the thing, these two sides, it's very hard to know how they'll match up because we don't get to see it too often. The South African sides taking on Premiership team, top 14 sides. But now this Champions Cup, it's the perfect opportunity to be able to see it. At the moment, they had very different first rounds. Saracen, 27 points to 5 over the Bulls. Bulls just couldn't quite find second gear. Discipline was an issue and also just not quite able to handle that ball. Now, to be fair, they were playing in awful weather conditions, but one of the two sides made the most of it, that being Saracens. They used the wind to the advantage. Day and Loftus looking a lot nicer than the weather was for that match, whereas Northampton, 38 points to 8, a pretty good win overall, 30 points difference, and scoring some very entertaining and very clinical tries throughout that 80 minutes. So that is exactly what we expect to see. It's just whether or not they can once again do it in South Africa. A lot of these sides do struggle when they head over to SA, but of course the Bulls, they will be playing next week up against the Sharks. That's going to be a great South African derby, and then Saracens, they will have Northampton. So two big matches taking place next week as well. Looking through at the benches for the Bulls, they've got a few key players off their bench. I mean, we've seen some great work from Zach Berger. We're making his way off the reserves. Jan Hendrik Wessels, that man can play prop as well as hooker, and I know that in this game he's down as a hooker, but it is very handy, definitely with the amount of penalties we've seen recently. I mean, we saw it in the game between Leinster and they played someone last week. I can't even remember. I know Geordie Barrett did very well in that game, but it was actually Bristol Bears, now that I think about it. But the front rows got sent off, so having someone like a Jan Hendrik Wessels to come on and fill that role if needed could be extremely crucial. Also, Naba Kaba, always very entertaining to watch off the bench for Northampton. And Angus Scott Young, some people not aware that that man's gone to Northampton, but there he is as the number 20 for this game. Now, I should mention we are about 5 minutes away from the kickoff of this contest. Jake White, you get this done, says Paul. And we have got there. Hi, Hamish. How's it going? What's your score prediction for this game? Do you think the Stormers can beat the Harlequins later tonight? I think that that's going to be a very entertaining game overall. Like, when you look at the lineups, it just has potential of being an outstanding contest. The Stormers' injury front, I think, is the biggest concern for that game. So the safe bet is to probably say that the Harlequins would win at the Stoop, but you just never know. Sometimes these South African sides, like I said, they go overseas and some of them thrive and some of them struggle. And I feel like we definitely have seen at times the Stormers find that next gear. It's just whether or not they can do it without Mani Lebok, without their loose forwards, without Sasha Feinberg, Ngome Zulu, without Damien Valimza. The list does go on. And it's a pretty tough time at the moment for the Quins, I'll be honest. For the Stormers, going into a game up against the Harlequins, who are looking extremely strong. But this one, like I said, not too far away. Loftus looks like it's slowly filling up on the near side. Not too many people on the far side of the field for this contest. But Northampton, I think they will bring the fight for this game. And I do hope they are competitive. We at least get to see a relatively high-scoring game. A nice starting point for the weekend of rugby, because there is going to be a lot of it. Once again, the Champions Cup running through this weekend. The Challenge Cup, the Lions actually going to be in action in a very short moment. They will be just around the corner. As Frans Maharba still playing for the Stormers. Says Marnus, I think so. Is he still... He's injured at the moment though, isn't he, Marnus? See, that's the problem. There's that long of a list of injured players that you almost forget who is still at the Stormers club. I mean, someone like a Dion Fori, who we haven't seen in an incredibly long time, he is still there. I mean, Salman Moura, just coming back from his injury, hopefully doesn't re-aggravate anything here. The Bulls and the Saints. They are just saying about one of these sides getting dumped by the other throughout the competition last year. At the moment on the table, the Bulls, like I said, they have a minus 22 as their points differential, 31 degrees Celsius, so she's going to be a hot day, and a little bit of breeze, about 13 kilometres an hour, shouldn't affect too much. Might just keep it cool, make it have a real feel of about 30 degrees rather than 31. The two sides ready to go for this one. I think that we're going to see a lot of this back three for the Bulls, as well as that midfield combination of Creel and Moody. Quite an elusive combo there. Moody finding a few minutes at 13 for the Bulls, but not really too many at international level. Something that we thought we might have seen him transfer into that 13 jersey, but man, there's been some minutes for Jesse Creel throughout 2024. Johan Goosen in that number 10 jersey, big game for him. He had a bit of a shocker last week up against Saracens. It's just about some of these guys really stepping up. What did you think about Barrett at Leinster, says Jaden? I thought that first game up against Bristol, he came off the bench and completely changed the game. And the thing is, he played a completely different game of rugby than he does when he plays for the All Blacks. In terms of the way that he was attacking, he was running it hard straight rather than cutting across. He was getting assists, he was getting tries. If he plays like that, like for all the time that he's at Leinster, and then he comes back and plays average for the ABs, maybe that combination of Barrett and Robertson just doesn't quite work. But honestly, like that first game, he couldn't have done much more. So it was actually really cool to see. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how he goes this weekend. He's actually going to be playing number 15 in that game taking place in about 4.5 hours' time. I think that Stephen Kitsoff coming back to the Stormers is pointless. Because since he has come back, hasn't even played one game because of the neck injury. Says Marnus, yeah, although it's very tricky to know whether or not you're bringing in someone who's just going to get injured straight away. Like when you sign them, of course, you give them the benefit of the doubt. And if Kitsoff had been 100% throughout the time that he was at the Stormers, who knows how many games we could have seen by now. It's just a tricky one. Like injuries more than ever are affecting certain sides, and you know, it's tricky because you could bring in a guy who's 100% match fit, who has been the whole time, and then he could get injured. Don't you think Barrett will bring something different to the ABs? I think he would probably be a more complete player. I hope that what he's doing at Leinster does help his All Blacks game. It's just whether or not he's given the freedom tactically, because we saw that one of the biggest problems for the All Blacks throughout this year was actually that midfield combo. Barrett and Ioane, something wasn't working, but Barrett and Ringrose in that last game for Leinster looked like it was just perfect. And then, you know, you also saw a couple other combos there. I think Henshaw got a bit of a crack in their midfield as well. And it just seemed to be everything was gelling nicely. But now both sides out there on the field ready to go for this matchup. Bulls by 20, says Andreas there. And that would mean that their points differential would be down to -2 rather than -22. So that would be a big step in the right direction for this Bulls side. And it's a competition that points differential does matter to a certain extent. And I feel like the biggest thing is just going to be keep on pushing forward, see what you can do in these home games, because away from home can be a whole different story. We saw that last week for this Bulls side, but they've got all the talent in the world. They just have to work out how to use it. The Saints are no slouches, though. They are a side that is often underestimated in the Premiership. They just have crisp backline movement. I think we're going to see that today here as well. I honestly think it's going to be a free-flowing game of rugby, and then we're going to have both sides pretty exhausted by the last 20, which is why the benches will be very important for this game. They have just got the moment of silence at the moment at the ground, and then we will be straight into this match, ladies and gents. But do let me know your score predictions if you haven't already. I know that I was asked earlier on, and somehow I forgot to give one, but I do think... See, the Saints are about $4 underdogs, and for relatively good reason, but I think this is going to be within 7. I'd be very surprised. I wouldn't be shocked completely, but I'd be surprised if the Bulls were to completely run away with this, just because the Saints have a very good skill. If they concede a try, they come back and get one themselves pretty much straight away. But Johan Hussen will be the man getting ready to kick this one off from left to right for this matchup. In the 31-degree heat at Loftus. Pressure will be on both of these teams. The Saints trying to go back-to-back, whereas the Bulls trying to get their first win of the Champions Cup before heading into their clash next week up against fellow South African side, the Sharks. We got the countdown. 7 seconds to go until we get into this match. And the Bulls 27 points to 17 is Dell's prediction there. Okay, so going with that round medium range kind of score between the two sides in terms of that split. Nice long kickoff from Johan Hussen. It's going to be kicked downfield from the Saints and nicely taken to the back by Willy LaRue. Fires it off to the left-hand side. Johan Hussen trying to go straight through the middle. Finds his offload to the big man Wilco Lowe. One of many players got the opportunity on Rassi's side for 2024. Kana Moody, quick hands, goes on the outside to Elric Lowe, who cuts back in. Now Papier goes across to Rohan Vermaak. Now Hussen goes to Villaroo. Nice pick up from Williams. Gets it off to Cameron Heineken. Manages to bump through the tackle attempt to Tommy Freeman. Now Marcel Coetzee finds the offload to Papier. The Bulls trying to play quick rugby at the moment. Inside ball, and that's going to be counted as a knock-on, but he only got one hand to it. So I don't know whether or not this one's going to get looked at again, but he looked like he had an extended hand, and it could have been a clear gap there for the Bulls. Now, we saw poor discipline all throughout round 1 of the Champions Cup. Bulls must improve or they will be in the poo, says Robert. Yeah, and with this type of competition format, I would argue that that's not a very realistic catching position for Northampton Saints player. So, honestly, we've seen those given as yellow cards. We've seen them given as penalties. The pack weights have a huge advantage to the Bulls. 46 kgs in their favour with 943 kgs the build-in weight compared to the Saints, who have 897. I would be extremely surprised if we don't see the Bulls try and really shove forward here. But looking at the table, the Bulls, as you can see there, they are minus 22 at the moment on the standings. Only one side behind them, and that is Stade Francais. Will be in action a little bit later on for the Champions Cup, but they have to get those points under their belt. Saracens, they've got themselves the big win last week. They are going head-to-head this week with Stade Francais. We've already seen Munster and Castres. It was a close game between those two sides, but Munster ended up just narrowly winning, I believe. And then that is a big scrum coming from Northampton. That was a bit of a surprise that they managed to push back. Is this the last game for the year? Says Soraya. It is not. Both of these sides will be in action next week. Not for the Champions Cup, though. For the URC, the Bulls will be playing the Sharks, in a South African derby. And then for the Saints, they will be playing Saracens in their next contest as well. So still one more game of the year for these two sides, which is great to see. How's the stadium turnout looking? If I had to give a number, I would say probably 25% full. Honestly, maybe a little bit less. Like there's not a huge number in attendance for this match, unfortunately, which is a shame, just because, it is a pretty big game in my opinion anyway. I quite like when these two sides go head to head, or at least when we get to see South African sides take on England and French sides. But yeah, it isn't very full at the moment. That could also be down to the weather though. When it's 31 degrees Celsius and you're sitting in the stands cooking, it's not very nice. Still sounds like it's a bit of an atmosphere. Does Loftus have a pool? I know that the Sharks home games, they do have a pool next to the ground. I'm trying to look around for some sort of swimming area. Don't see one at the moment, but in Bros Papia, we're ready to go for the scrum here. 25 metres out from the line for the Bulls. Papia feeds in. There's a big push again from the Saints, but the penalty goes the way of the Bulls. I think that's going to be for number 1 collapsing there, Ayogun. Oh, he's a little bit unlucky there, I think, because he got a very good shove early. Now, Johan Hussen kicking it for the corner. It's so hot in Pretoria. Most people are passed out, no pool, and it's 34 degrees Celsius, says Albert. So, yeah, there's only so much shade you can find, but when it's humid as well, or at least, the air is so warm, it's a lot nicer when you're sitting at home with a fan or something watching the game. There's the penalty to Northampton, their obstruction and line-out time. Now, that was going to be a great opportunity for the Bulls to get something going early on. Bulls going to win. Strong ball from the Stormers fan. Here's a lean there. And, of course, Stormers going to be in action later on up against the Quins. We will also be covering that game on the channel. That one kicks off at 9 a.m. New Zealand time. This one currently 2 a.m. was the kickoff. So they got that right. And then Heineken, unfortunately, just a bit of obstruction, did end up in front of the man. Did go down with the ball. Now nice attack and run from Lockett. Alex Mitchell going for the box kick. This will be the first time the Saints have been inside of Bulls territory throughout this game. And a nice slap back puts it into the hands of Henry Pollock. Now Mitchell goes across to that left-hand side. The biggest thing here for the Saints is just to get that back line flowing like it normally would. Finn Smith with the short ball. Goes across to Rory Hutchinson. Back across again. Oh, a little bit high there. The tackle attempt to Ruan Vermaak. Honeycomb over the ball and does win the penalty afternoon. Rugby lover says, Jimbo, oh, quick tap taken here by the Bulls. No, Villy LaRue acted like he was going to, then said, no, thank you, it's very warm. But they'll be able to work this one down the field unless they want to go for a quick fire 50-metre kick at the post. What's Johan Horsen thinking here? He will go for the corner. Just north of Lostas, there's a big thunderstorm. Might get called off the field for lightning at any minute. Says Albert. It could happen. I'm trying to remember the last game that we had that had lightning that they came off the field. I think it was a Stormers game, wasn't it? Or I think the Stormers game, the ground lost power at one point for one of the matches that we covered on the channel. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here. Hopefully it does stay away, but of course with that heat, sometimes get the storm with it. Attack and run here from Van Heeren, wearing the number 25 in this match. Saints going for a bit of a counter ruck, and it has worked in their favour. Loose ball knocked on there by Langdon. Ball is loose again, and they'll go back for the scrum here. Feed for the Bulls. A little bit scrappy at the start of this game, but we are 6 minutes in, and neither side have been able to strike first. Now, I should mention the position on the field that they decided to go for the corner last time was pretty much straight in the middle of the park. An easy 3 points if the Bulls wanted it, but they know with where they are on the table, not only do they need to get themselves tries, but they do need to get themselves that points differential really bumping up. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if we see them, if they win a penalty here once again, look towards that corner. It was just that little mistake that they made that stopped them from being able to score. But once again, that could be a case of underestimating Northampton. Maybe they're not quite giving them that same respect. Now Ambrose Papier ready to feed this ball into the scrum. And they got a good early push there, the Bulls, so they have got themselves the scrum penalty advantage off the Heineken. Ambrose Papier sells a nice dummy. Ball on the outside to Devin Williams. They'll check that last pass, but if it's good, the try will also be, and Devin Williams will score the first try of the contest. But, like I said, they may just want to check that last pass to make sure that it did go backwards from Ambrose Papier. It'll be his first try in the 2024-25 Investec Cup series or tournament for Devin Williams, but a big scrum there from the Bulls. We're going to see it there. So it does go forward, but I would say that the hands from Ambrose Papier were backwards because he wasn't at the 22, and when Devin Williams took it, he was about 2 or 3 meters inside of that 22, but I don't think we got a sideways replay of this pass, so I think it's going to stand. I wonder what the Northampton boys feel like in this heat and humidity, says Albert, and can see the Bulls winning this 18-0. And Albert, thank you for the weather update, says Gus. Yeah, 43 meters out from the line here for the first kick of the day for Johan Goosen. Shouldn't be too difficult. The posts aren't swaying. 13 kilometers of wind. Normally has a decent amount of distance as well, Goosen, and he's got it straight down the middle for that one. So first kick of the day is a success, and 7-0 now for the Bulls. We're used to playing rugby in cool weather this time of the year. It will be tough on them, says Jimbo. Oh, hang on. Are they looking at the pass now after the conversion? Is that what's happening? Okay, they have a forward. This seems like something they could have checked 2 minutes ago before having him take the kick. It was obviously going to be close to forward with where Ambrose Papier started it compared to where Devin Williams took it. But now they're looking at the TMO. This is why rugby games are taking so long now. The French refereeing panel, by the sounds of it. Now they have to wait for the replay. So Ambrose Papier, he passed it from outside of the 22. Devin Williams took it a few meters inside, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's forward. It all depends on the angle that Ambrose Papier was passing that ball, whether or not he had the hands going in a backwards direction or not. We're going to see the replay here, but I'm really surprised that they are only just checking it now. They're also saying there could have been a potential obstruction. Centre flat ball wide is the comment from the commentator. With the heat and altitude at Loftus, I don't think the Saints are going to manage a full 80, says Robert. All right, they're looking for a closer angle. This one is definitely going to slow this game down here. Okay, they're actually going to go back not for the forward pass, but they're going to go back for the obstruction from Villy LaRue running through and getting tackled in front of his Bulls teammates. So that's going to be no try, which is something honestly could have been found, like I said, a couple minutes ago. Silly, it was the only thing they had to check. I hate getting to the TMO, says Jimbo. Yeah, I think they found that obstruction also so that it saves them having to decide on that forward pass. But it will be not the try for Devin Williams. Oh, so it will still be the Bulls' ball as well because they already had the scrum penalty advantage in this case. So we are going to be playing on. They will kick for the corner. Good morning from Colombia. The Bulls to win, says Neil. But yeah, still 0-0 between these two sides. Now they need to make a law that says the relooks must be done before the conversion. Kicks are taken. Oh, the try must stand. They did have something similar to that a while ago, but then for some reason they decided to switch it and make it that even after, as long as the side haven't kicked off yet, that's pretty much when they're still allowed to check it. But yeah, like I said, that one could have been found a lot earlier, which would have been a lot better for these two sides. Oh, that's a knock on from Creel, picked up by the Northampton Saints, and they have booted that ball down the park, looking for a 50-22 here. That one is just playing with the touchline, but I believe it's gone out about maybe 30 metres from the Bulls line. No, it's a 50-22. It's managed to stay in the whole time, so that is a brilliant kick downfield from the Saints. So what do you think of the Springboks playing at Eden Park next year for the first time since 2013? Certainly a talked about test match. I feel like it's probably the most anticipated at the moment for next year. And probably rightfully so. You know, you've got the fortress for the All Blacks. The Box, they did everything that they could throughout 2024 in terms of trophies and accolades. So now, you know, the next thing for the Springboks is to take that massive win streak away from New Zealand. Flat ball to Hutchinson. Tackle 15 metres out for the line now. Alex Mitchell goes across the ding wall in the middle and he dings his way straight through the Bulls defence. But there's Cameron Heineken, who just goes in and gets that turnover. He is lethal when it comes to the breakdown. Now Richard Creel passes on the outside. In fact, it was David and Bruce Papier. Slips over. Still trying to run his way forward, and he's pretty slippery. The Bulls number 9 almost made it up to the 22. A little bit of wrestling going on in the background by the looks of it. One of the Bulls players will not get off the Saints guy, and the referee is stopping the game. Philly LaRue not happy, but it's his own teammate who caused it. There's still a scrap going on. I don't know what was happening there, but Eldrick Lowe decided he had full mount and he was going to make the most of it. The only thing he didn't do was ground and pound, get those elbows going. And good thing Clouds came in for some shade will help. And please, South African teams, we expect a much better performance. I'm watching from Taiwan. Our time now is 9:15. Says Dion there. And hey, Hamish, how's it been? Says Uncle Bill's been very well. It's great to see you here once again. Right, this one, the ref is once again going to have a talking to both of the teams. But Eldrick Lowe, got to keep that temper in check. Something that really hurt the Bulls last week was discipline. Right, it's going to be a restart. The scrum in favour of the Bulls. Yeah, just a two-man clean out on one of the Saints players then led to him being underneath the Bulls. And we're going to see it here. It was a great run. Oh, no, we're not going to see it. We're going to see Cameron Heineken with that steal in the breakdown, which was picture perfect as well, I should say. Just locked over the ball, already his second. And yeah, we just see Eldrick Lowe just wouldn't get off. I think that was Alex Coles, maybe, that he was fighting. But yeah, discipline's so important for this Bulls side. They can't let the temper get the better of them. And good work, my Kiwi brother from the South African listening in Barcelona. Says, Grant, so welcome in, mate. I can see in your picture you got the green and gold kit as well, which is awesome to see. So I guess a good question would be, Grant, is this, like, in terms of comparing the kits that they've had, is this one of your favourite Springbok kits? I think a lot of people have quite liked the one since the World Cup. Oh, that's going to be a high ball and nicely taken by Augustus, but he gets it ripped out of his hands, but they're going back for the original knock-on against the Bulls. It's the heat and humidity causing tempers to go off the charts, says Albert. Yeah, although it's all extra energy, isn't it? Your scoreboard is not adjusted back to 0-0. No, it doesn't want to give that try back from the Bulls, does it? Like, the score in terms of the time is still updating. It's just not taking it away. So hopefully either the Bulls score soon or the scoreboard does catch up. But yeah, it was a disallowed try, which makes us back to 0-0. We should have a prediction with how many minutes gone on the scoreboard. I'm pointing the wrong way, but how many minutes gone until it goes away. The best Spock jersey was 1986 to 1992 jersey. Many punters of South Africa think the Springboks can beat the All Blacks in Eden Park in their winning streak at Eden Park, says Monet Lagrange. Now another reset. And my favourite kit is the 2011 kit. I was in New Zealand for the whole tournament, hence favouritism, says Grant. That's probably fair enough, isn't it? Having a World Cup kit, being able to experience that whole World Cup. You're thinking about going for the Australian 2027? That one. In fact, that's for everyone as well. Is anyone looking at going to Australia for the next World Cup? It's going to go down, and penalty goes the way of the Bulls. Scrum time is not going to be fun for the Saints today. I can tell you that right now. Eogun is pretty frustrated They have to try and work out how to deal with this Bulls scrum. We didn't even see a scrum collision there. That's how quickly the Bulls got themselves the penalty. Yeah, we will have to wait and see. With this heat as well, it's just hot, humid. And looks like the Bulls once again have decided that they want to kick this one towards the corner. Waiting for 2031 in the USA. Says Gus. Have they got a 2035 yet? Has that been sorted out? Would you make a vid about on Rugby Challenge 4 again? Maybe recreate the World Cup. The AB's actually winning. Says Uncle Bill's. Oh, nice tackle on Aka Fundamover. He's only 1 metre out from the line here. The Bulls now around the side of the breakdown, inches from the try line. And they get over. The referee said the ball is available. Who will it be? JF Van Heeren looked like he was setting up for it, but instead will leave it for another one of his big forwards round the pick and go. I honestly do think the way to the try line is going to be the back line, and that is exactly what we're seeing now. Heineken gets the offload to Hussein, who knocks it on 1 metre from the try line, and they'll go back for another scrum. But on that World Cup mention, I think I did a video, if I'm not wrong, on the Rugby World Cup final, like on Rugby Challenge 4. I might have to have a quick Google. One moment. Rugby World Cup final. We got us somewhere there. Did we do one on the Rugby World Cup final? I might have to even... I'll search Kiwi Lads as well. I'm pretty sure we did a while ago. Yeah, we actually do have it. 2023 World Cup final. I don't know who actually won that game. It's titled What a Finish, so it might have been a decent one. Those enjoy listening to Hamish could at least award him with a like thumb. Says Robert. Yeah, anyone who is new, of course, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. That's come out the same gate, so it's going to be another reset. Bulls must wake up, says Johan the 19th. Well, probably 19th rather than the 19th. Also, I missed your stream, Hamish, says Charles. Yeah, it is great to have everyone here. The Champions Cup, of course, we haven't had as much rugby throughout this week. We've only got the 3 live streams over the weekend. And then next week, we're back into the URC as it gets towards the end of the year. And the Bulls says Ronnie. And a thumbs up from James in there too. So far, the Bulls have had definitely the better scrum throughout the first half. We're already 16 minutes in, and that scoreboard is still yet to give that Bulls try back. So currently the score is actually 0-0, ladies and gentlemen. It's just the online scoreboard doesn't want to do it. Oh, free kick this time going the way of the Northampton Saints. I was watching cricket between the Black Cats versus England, says Charles. Yeah, it's not looking too good for the Black Cats at the moment. Looking like a clean sweep for the English could be on the cards. That one hasn't found touch, but it was also just a free kick. So either way, it would have been the Bulls' ball. Cameron Heineken got a attack and run forward. Now Ambrose Papier goes across to Aka Fundamover on the short side. Sebastian de Klerk tackled by, well, was supposed to be Ollie Slateholm, and it is. He's actually grown his hair a bit since that November internationals period. I almost didn't recognise the guy. Over the ball, and the penalty goes the way of the Saints. In fact, they would have had the penalty, but they're going to continue attacking. Nice attack and run from Alex Mitchell. Look for the offload, can't find it, and they'll go back for the penalty. How is that score still 0-0? Says Juan Pierre Bosch. Yeah, massive opportunity for the Bulls earlier on and just couldn't quite get over that line. And since then, we've had a lot of close calls. Saints, I don't think, have been inside of the 22, with the exception of that 50-22. Other than that, they've really struggled to get downfield. But now, perfect opportunity. They will kick it into touch. We're getting straight over the ball for Lockett. Does end up winning the penalty for his side. They will be 23 metres out from the Bulls line, so still looking to pierce that 22. What is that logo on your hoodie? It is the Rugby League World Cup. I think it's in reverse. But yeah, at the end of the Rugby League World Cup competition, they had like a 90% off sale. So I have a French one, I have a Tongan one, and a Cook Islands hoodie that were all about $10 each. So, seemed like a good idea. Honeycomb wants his Is that mum or man of the match from Robert? Oh, man of match. That's going to be another penalty going the way of the Bulls. French chicken bird says, cool story, bro. Sorry, HTV shows 0-all. You are showing 7-0. Says Juan Pierre Bosch. Yeah, although the correction is the online scoreboard is showing 7-0. I have no control over it. But, yeah, at the moment it should be 0-all, but they just haven't taken that try back from the Bulls. And the question is, will they ever? Why don't you stream every day? Says Charles, there isn't rugby on every day. And I don't think I'd be entertaining enough to not have a game of rugby as something to talk about, which kind of sounds a bit sad, but it's just true. You kind of run out of things to say, or at least I do. You should win Streamer of the Year, mate. Says Charles, I don't know about that. I feel like there are some pretty decent streamers around. Oh, nice bit of skill there from the Saints to keep that one from being a knock-on. Just pretty much booted it down the park. I found the video. The ABs won 24-21. So close one between those two sides. Nice attack and run. David Creel, he's got a man on his inside, man on the outside. Willie LaRue just ran the wrong way, though. Creel couldn't quite link up with him. Hi, says Barry Green. Welcome in, mate. Now off to the left-hand side, Johan Goosen gives it across to Gerhard Steenkamp. Ball pops up for Papier. Now Ruan Vermaak. Tackled by Eogan. Now Willie LaRue. Hit hard in that tackle, Sebastian de Klerk. Still 20 metres out from the line. JF Van Heeren rocking the 25 on the back today. Are they playing in South Africa? They certainly are at Loftus. Wilco Low. Knocking that ball on. Oh, and they'll go back. I remember playing school cricket in this weather. Shot selection didn't matter. You didn't care about losing your wicket. You just wanted to get back into the shade, says Robert. Oh, we got a couple extra whistle blows there from the ref. I think we're at a drinks break, perhaps, because of the heat. Are you doing the La Rochelle match tonight? We are not, no. We've got next one that we're doing, Leicester Tigers versus the Sharks, which should be a pretty awesome game. Like, those two sides are stacked for that contest. And then the last game that we're doing will be Stormers versus Quins, or Harlequins. Butterfingers Bulls. Says Juan Pierre Bosch. Cook Islands, as you mentioned, are in the middle of nowhere. Says James. They are. They've got quite cool colours, though. It's kind of the green and yellow, which actually works quite well for our local cricket team. So I wear it to practice sometimes and almost look festive. But yeah, it's like for $10, it seemed like it was worth a crack. They're just warming up off the bench by the looks of it. The Northampton Saints. G'day, Hamish. Says Darren. Welcome in, mate. Score at the moment 0-all. Scoreboard doesn't like me. I think they've reversed. If they reversed, I keep on pointing this way, but the scoreboard is this way. Have we been, like, switched around maybe since last time? Because I swear I normally point that way to the scoreboard. But it's changed. What AB's test match are you looking forward to? I think that one at Eden Park up against South Africa is definitely going to be one to keep an eye on. I just Googled Danny Gerber. And look at that amazing Bok jersey. Says Albert. And we need Ben Sears, to be honest, for Test cricket. His bowling pace is similar to prime Jofra Archer. Says Charles. And Sharks Box are staying home today. Says Robert. Yeah, although, like, still looking through at their lineup. Like, their backline's looking very strong. And I do think it's a bit of a risk not playing their best side. Looks like the Saracens, wind weather, Jake White and everything else broke the Bulls, knocking every second ball. Are not taking their chances. 3 tries thrown away, says Eric. Yeah, I think that they could easily be up by a pretty decent margin here. Like, the scoreboard, like I said, it's normally that side. I swear it is. We've done so many live streams that I normally point that way. So it's got to be reversed somehow. I don't know how they've done it. Can I reverse it back? Is that an option? Okay, mirror my camera is something that's new. I'm going to click this. Hang on. There we go. The scoreboard's on that side, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why they didn't tell me that they did that, but new update in the software, I guess. This feels a lot better. This is how it normally is. We're normally looking away. Your scoreboard is to your left, same as always, says Robert. Yeah, although my camera was mirrored, so it was confusing me big time. Normally we are looking this way rather than towards the scoreboard. Does it look better if I'm looking towards this? It probably doesn't matter too much, but for you guys, is it better if I'm looking at it here or whether I'm looking inwards like that at the board? Now kick downfield. Now Devin Williams looking towards the touchline, and that's a good kick. That might be a 50-22 there for the Bulls. Just a little cheeky one from just inside of the Bulls half. Can I call you Mr. H? With my spelling, if I have to type fast, every time I'll end up tipping hamster, or typing hamster by mistake, of course. Yeah, you can go with Mr. H if it's easier when you're looking to do a vlog. We haven't done a huge amount of vlogs on the channel. I think we've only done maybe 2 in all our time. But maybe one day. Don't care if you look at the roof, just don't stop talking, says Albert. That's probably fair. The 22 metres out with Creel and Bros Papia. Is this the time that the Bulls can get through inwards? Says Robert. So you think I should mirror it so that I'm... Hang on. We've got to move again. So like this. Hopefully that's all right. I just have to remember to point this way now to get the scoreboard rather than the other. Now Johan Goosen, nice step coming. Kane and Moody almost through. Thought about the offload, but he didn't really have anyone on the support run. Cameron Heineken pops it up now. Goosen goes across to Villy LaRue. Tries to get through one. He's going to be tackled on that 22 in Northampton. Take the ball straight back. And a brilliant steal. As a dude named George, your brother or your cousin? Neither. He's just my friend. Oh, George. Now, the Saints, they will have the opportunity to kick this one towards the touchline, or they don't even have to, as the penalty has just been awarded in their favour. And I don't understand World Rugby. They want to speed the game up and then introduce the disruptive TMO. Yeah, something earlier on, like we saw it, the perfect example for that disallowed try. That took far too long to make what I feel was a pretty simple decision. H should be acceptable as a name call for Hamish. Yeah, just anything that works. You don't even have to put my name if you don't want to. Like, I know who you're talking to in most cases. But yeah. There's no real names that I would say that I dislike being called. Well, other than profanities, but we're used to it by now. We can watch this match, or we can win this match unless we don't bottle a big lead by England and bowl all of them out. For a low score, we might have a chance for a win. We should believe in the Champions URC Challenge Cup. So here's cool story, bro. We've got another wee stoppage here. Not line out straight for Curtis Langdon. The Bulls did very well because all they needed was to have someone contesting for it to be called as a not straight throw. They chucked him up at the back. Langdon, he did play last week, finding quite a bit of success at that line out. H the handy logo, and Mr. Ham, says Michael. Mr. Ham is a new one, but it's fine. Don't mind a ham. See, it looks like the ones who are in attendance are having fun, which is good to see. It's whether or not after another 90 minutes or so, they still look like they're having fun or they're going to have heat stroke. Let go of the Super Rugby in our hearts. Yeah, Super Rugby just around the corner, only a couple months away. Same with the Six Nations. Less than 2 months till that competition starts, which is weird because we've only just finished international rugby. It's only 10 days till Christmas here in New Zealand. It's probably 11 for you guys in South Africa. This year's gone very fast. We're already a year and a bit away from the last World Cup. Only his girlfriend calls him Mr. Ham. You know, I don't have one of those, so I guess that could be factually correct, but I wouldn't know yet. Guess the country. I think that's South Africa's flag, isn't it? All I can see for like my software is SA. So it was probably an educated guess. It could have been something else, maybe. But yeah, I'd say SA is probably pretty safe to think it's South Africa. Now that one's gone down again. Scrum time has been an issue. Double blow of the whistle here. And this is where Northampton start to get a few warnings from the referees. I mentioned about the versatility that we saw of Jan Hendrik Wessels off the bench here. But I think the Saints are the ones who are going to need a little bit of a versatile player if this continues happening. Scrums just aren't a thing at the moment. Saudi Arabia, ain't it? Says Uncle Bills. It was Saudi Arabia. Okay, so, yeah, very hard to say, though, when you can only see SA. I think that would also, would SA, it'd be South Africa as well, wouldn't it? That would be the shortened abbreviation of their flag. That's a great kick from the Bulls, and now they'll be about 10 metres at Saudi Arabia, ain't it? Says Uncle Bills. Yeah, see, I will have to take your word for it. Hey, mate, do you mind if I do guess the country quiz? I mean, you can do it for the chat. I'll try not to spoil it because, like, once again, all I can see is just the letters. Now, line out throw here, 10 metres from the line. Akafunda Merva, almost stolen by the Saints, but well claimed by Elriclo. Now, nice rolling maul here. Our country code is ZA. Okay. Where does the Z actually come from? Out of curiosity. Just because there is no Z in Republic of South Africa. Oh, that's going to be, wait, hang on. What's happened there? Obstruction against the Bulls. The crowd are all cheering, but now they've just had the realisation that that was not a try. If him was South African, his surname might have been Burger, says Robert. South Africa. Yeah, that makes sense. Now this one's kicked into touch by the Northampton Saints. Once again, this is about the 4th time that they've blown their opportunity to score here, the Bulls. So I think that at the moment, the scoreboard, hang on, like I said, it's reversed now. It just doesn't want to give away that 7 points that the Bulls have. We are still at 0-0 though, I should mention. Which is, honestly, like, I don't want to sound too harsh, but it is quite poor with the amount of attack we've seen. Great run from Finn Smith. Gets the ball on the inside to Dingwall. Tackled on the halfway line, Alex Mitchell. Opportunities for the Saints have been far and few between. Few and far between, one of those two ways. And now quick hands. Can they find something here? Oh, that didn't look like many arms were used in the tackle attempt from Eldrick Lowe. Scoreboard is the same on your left, says Uncle Bills. It is, but because my camera is mirrored, normally I point this way, but that now means that I'm pointing at nothing. Have you been on a fight before? Says Charles. In a fight, no. Just because I normally, like, I don't think I've been in a situation where I've been angry enough. I'm sure there's been people who have probably wanted to fight me, but, like, I just don't get bothered by things much, if that makes sense. So I'm too laid back. Now Wilco, though, that was a forward pass to Akafunda Merva. Another loose ball. Referee says play on just for now. Oh, there was a second crack at it, so that's going to be another advantage. Hanekwam trying to find a gap. Marcel Kutsia, the pick and go. You're chill, says Charles. Now, still an advantage in favour of the Bulls. Jan Hussen gets almost through, but great tackle from Finn Smith. Eldrick Lowe ducking under one challenge. And they'll go back for the penalty. I honestly think the Bulls might not be in a terrible spot here to take 3 points. Scoreboard is always on your left for us. The mirror aspect is just for you, says Jimbo. Yeah, it's very confusing in terms of the fact that for the last 4 years we've pointed that way. And now we're going to have to do it with the thumb, I think. Will be the easier way. That'll be how to remember. Villiers LaRue is yelling at someone. I think they have to take the 3 here. Points on the board. They've got to, don't they? Or are they going to go for the corner again? Eldrick Lowe. Okay. So they're asking for a penalty of some sort. They're going to go for the scrum here, the Bulls. Now, I'm not too sure what it was that they were asking for, whether or not there was something in the breakdown. You're not pointing at nothing that way. It's correct for us viewers. Says Robert. After me and Hamish put our differences aside, I found out he was a rugby commentator. Says cool story, bro. The way you point normally is where the scoreboard is. Says Uncle Bills. Yeah, the scoreboard hasn't moved. It's just the camera's been mirrored. So pretty much with a mirrored camera, it means that I am now looking inwards rather than outwards. Like if you look back at a few of the other streams, you'll see that I'm normally looking this way while commentating. Do what you normally do. It's correct, says Robert. And now 12 minutes remaining in this contest. Or in this first half anyway. Low scoring one. They still won't take that. they still won't take those points away from the Bulls. Looks like Devon Williams might have a little bit of an injury here. 7 appearances for that man in the Champions Cup. Now you know whether the weather guy feels on TV. Pointing vaguely, says Robert. Do you watch UFC? I do. Interesting fight card tomorrow. It's going to be an interesting main event. Colby Covington versus Joaquin Buckley. But I don't actually know who's going to win that. Like, Buckley's the favourite, but I have no idea what Covington's going to do in his fight. Like, he's a good fighter. He annoys a lot of people. But then so does Buckley. So it's kind of a battle with two heels, in a way. Currently, another drinks break taking place. 28 minutes into this game at the moment. Devon Williams is still down with that injury. Oh, do you prefer Kane Williamson or Martin Crowe, 2 cricket legends? For me, it's probably Williamson, just because of the fact that he's been my generation type of thing. Whereas Martin Crowe, like if you were to ask like my mum and dad, they'd probably say Crowe. I reckon Covington will win. Yeah, I was a bit surprised when I saw how much of an underdog he was, just because he's still, like, he hasn't been knocked out that often, and he's, you know, Buckley's a good striker, but it could be interesting. Who is responsible for the scoreboard? It's an online scoreboard, so Flash Score are the ones. They're normally not too bad, although today it just doesn't want to take it away. But now, less than 12 minutes. Scrum here for the Bulls. They have already had their last warning when it comes to the scrums. That one's going to hold strong there for the Saints. They're being told to use it. That's a good scrum. Now inside ball, the David Creel finds the offload to Ambrose Papier. He goes through, gets the offload to Moody, and again, the ball is loose, but it's knocked on by the Saints. And that is a big mistake there. Ulrich Lowe putting in a big hit and keeping the ball on the side of the Bulls yet again. Ambrose Papier gets it to Wilco Lowe, who has to crawl forward to be able to take the catch. Now Papier goes back across to David Creel, cross kick, attempted by Hussein, and it just goes into touch. I think they'll go back. No, the knock-on advantage was over, and it's going to be now the chance here. 5 metres out from their own line, Northampton need to get the line out throw right. Devon Williams does not look like he's running too nicely on that leg. I would say Fleming, he was rated the most strategic captain of all time. Lots of people dropping in. We'll be happy to see the Bulls don't, or be sad to see the Bulls don't have 7. But 73% territory. What's the temperature in Pretoria today? About 34 degrees or so. I think it was 31 they had at the start of the game, but I think real feels a little bit higher as well. Right. This doesn't look good for George Furbank. Looks like he might have a broken forearm or something along those lines, at least a bit of a stinger. Your voice is similar to Kane Williamson, says Charles. I'll take it. Actually, Netherlands were the first country to discover us. Then I think some British people came to New Zealand. Both of them were Māori. I worked out for Australia, I think was England, says Charles. The Kiwi Navajo Sterling. We're making his debut. It's pretty cool to see Kiwi big sports. Or Kiwis in big sports. Yeah, this looks like the end of George Furbank. That is a bad sign. Unfortunately, when he was going for that kick, just smashed in the tackle by Ulrich Lowe. It looked like he knew straight away that something was wrong. I think he just got that hyperextension of the elbow a little bit too. Who will win in a fight between a bull and a shark? Is the fight on land or is the is the fight in the water? You kind of look disappointed reading that, mate. Says Charles, I'll be honest, I just had to concentrate because it was quite a long one and I didn't want to get things wrong. So I had to really lock in for it. Thanks, Hamish. Cooled down here a bit. We have 40 plus degrees, all right on their own goal line here. Northampton Saints retaining the ball. I can't believe that they haven't conceded a try yet. But the thing is, like, don't get me wrong, their defence has been, like, all right. It hasn't been stellar, but the Bulls have been their own worst enemy. Make a mistake after every time they get within 5 metres. Would you consider using an old typewriter? Would you consider using an old typewriter like the Rugby Senate to put up the score? An old typewriter? Like, as in, like, an actual, like, The one that and then you slam it to the side, or like as in like you just write it down the bottom. Like we've done the writing down the bottom before, which has worked all right. But the timer, or at least the scoreboard time, is something that is quite handy with this one. It's going to be kicked up high. That one's slapped back. And the penalty does go the way of the Northampton Saints. Right, this one's about 45, 47 metres out. Do they take the 3 here? Or do they realise that they're up against the pump and they have to kick for the corner? That looks like the mentality. They are a side that are known for scoring tries. But they've also been a side in this game. They've been known for not getting down the field. Bulls should be leading by now. Use a chalkboard for the score for some school nostalgia. And then if anyone's misbehaving in the chat, I can just scrape my nails down it, and just really annoy people. They are, but not by enough, says Suckerballer. Now, nicely taken. Come back across to the right-hand side. Alex Mitchell, short ball there, opening up the opportunity in the middle of the park. Advantage in favour of the Northampton Saints as well. Offload there and they're through for the first try of the match. And it's going to be George Henry, I should say, who got it off the bench. George is the sub that they made. Honestly, Hendy, not Hendry. But they are now on the board. I'm almost speechless at them. They still they added the 5, but they didn't take away the 7 for the Bulls. Just good backline movement for the Saints. But I cannot believe that the Bulls have had, let's say, honestly, 4 or 5 chances at scoring a try throughout this first 32 minutes. And now the first real crack that the Saints get, they score a try and make it look like it's a simple thing. Moody made the tackle and then just offloading. This is hilarious, says Albert there. Well, it's just poor. Like, the Bulls, I can't fathom it. They've had so much attack. And they've done so well at times with ball in hand. But once it gets to 10 metres out from the line, it just goes wrong. England could do with a fit Mitchell for the Six Nations, says Jimbo. He's going all right so far in this game. I should mention that kick did go over, I believe. Although the scoreboard still says 5-0. Oh, nice sell of the dummy from Mitchell. It actually wouldn't be the same without that erratic scoreboard. Oh, it just took it away. But I should mention, I think Northampton missed their kick, because the score at the moment says 5-0. So all they've done is taken away one error and put another one in. But, yeah, I believe it's 5 rather than 7 at the moment. But now tackled on the halfway line, Marcel Kurtzia. Now Papier goes across to Gerhard Stinnekamp. Papier again. Willy LaRue with the skip pass out to Sebastian de Klerk. Maybe that's the try that we needed to see in terms of the wake-up call for this Bulls side. Do you know a random engineer called Bubba? I do not know. Now to the left-hand side, JF Van Heeren, Willy LaRue with the skip pass to Marcel Kurtzia. He goes up the middle, and now the Bulls score. Okay, so they just needed to see how to do it, and now they've done it themselves. And straight away, 1 minute after, not going to live from my angle on the city. This is blatant overlooking of the 4-pass law in regards to the Bulls. Says cameras and dogs in there as well. But yeah, Bulls straight into it. Scoring the try. Willy LaRue, great pass to Marcel Kurtzia, which just opened a gap. No one was back there. Scoreboard operator watching Kiwi lads. Just being a, says Jimbo. Yeah, Bulls back in the game. Or are they? We're not TMOing this one, are we? I don't know what we would be TMOing for. No, we're all right. But Johan Goosen, now the first kick of the game, of course, he did have one earlier on, but the try was disallowed. Should be relatively straightforward for Johan Goosen, and it has gone over, making the score now 7 points to 5, I believe it is. honestly, the scoreboard's very broken today. Keeps us guessing. But yeah, ankle tapped, attempted. That wasn't the best work there from Tom Lockett. I think he was actually close enough to have an actual tackle attempt rather than just trying to slap the ankle of Marcel Coetzee. So they'll be disappointed with that. And like I said, Northampton, their defence in this game hasn't been that great. It's just been that the Bulls have been making mistakes. Speaking of, another knock-on coming from the Bulls here from Elric Lowe. I think Marcel Coetzee is saying there might have been a knock-on actually coming first of all from the Saints. Going to see the replay here, just going down in the breakdown. Maybe off the foot of Timo Maina Vanua. I'm not hiring those scoreboard guys for my wedding. Says, cool story, bro. What the hell? Where is Bulls points at? Honestly, the scoreboard is so broken at the moment, but the score is 7 points to 5, and it's just not even close. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a scoreboard very quickly, and we're going to go real score is the Bulls are on 7, and Northampton are on 5. There we go. We'll put that down the bottom until the scoreboard does decide to play the game. Can you please tell us the correct score? So the correct score is... Okay, they've almost got it. They're working on it, but it's the wrong way around. So the Bulls are leading at the moment by 2 points. I have the option to watch this game on Rugby Pass, but I'm sticking here with my mate Hamish. Says Robert, and it is greatly appreciated to have you here for this match. 37 minutes in at the moment. Now, scrum's gone down. Northampton get themselves the scrum penalty. That is something you don't see too often. Try restarting your stream. It's nothing to do with the stream side of things. It's just to do with their scoreboard updating. Like, they've gone back to 7-7, but I think the Bulls did actually miss their initial kick at the post. The Saints, they've decided to kick for the corner yet again. Oh, there we go. I think they might have heard us. There we go. We have got their A's Batman. Lost the ring. Nicely taken. Now Augustus goes across to Tommy Freeman. 5 metres out from the try line. Can the Saints get themselves another try before the end of the first 40 minutes? Mitchell, referee's gone down. There's a knock-on, though, from the Saints in the breakdown. And they'll go back for the scrum. He's a drunk Munster fan. Says a Jimbo. Nothing I said is factually incorrect. Says Grant. Did I miss a Grant message? We got... Is that from earlier on? Maybe. It's scorching hot in Johannesburg. Forgive the scoreboard, man. Yeah, I feel like we can let it slide, can't we? At the end of the day, we're now in the right place. Visits to the opposition, 22. 10 for the Bulls. Points per visit is 0.7. Whereas for the Saints, they've only visited the opposition 22 3 times. Don't worry about it, Hamish. Says Grant. Now, 1 minute remaining. And the Bulls have got themselves the scrum feed here, 5 metres out from their own line. Still got 2 more games taking place later on today, ladies and gents. So anyone who is new, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And Bros Papier, put this ball in. He's actually had a pretty decent first half. Like, I don't think he's done too much wrong. Just been his teammates. Another advantage going the way of the Bulls when it comes to scrum time. Kane Moody, chopped down. It's up to the 22-metre line almost now. Ambros Papier, great ball to Marcel Coetzee. They've made 30 metres. Oh, they're going to go right back for the penalty. Saudi Arabia, as you say. So I wasn't available. Says when. Oh, and a yellow card now to the Bulls at scrum time. Oh, sorry, for Northampton at scrum time. And that is going to be Emmanuel Eogun. Isn't it a good day so far in terms of those scrummaging decisions? Can't believe how lucky people are at Loftus. That it got cloudy as this game started. The heat is insane. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. Definitely in that second half as well. Even with the overcast conditions, they will certainly be feeling it. Halftime break, it's going to feel like a great 15-minute spell. Or they go out there and have to do it all again in the second half. But honestly, the score at the moment, I know that one team would be a lot happier with it than the other, and that's Northampton. They could have been down by 5 tries in this game. The Bulls trying to work their way towards that bonus point. 4 tries or more would be required. Oh, okay. Northampton have been told to add a little bit more of a gap at line-out time. Overthrown. And it's going to sit up now for Augustus. His first run of the day. Looks for the offload. Manages to find it as well to Tom Lockett. Alex Cole's another penalty advantage. Goes in favour of the Saints. And Alex Mitchell takes it quickly. Taking a risk rather than taking the 3. Is it going to pay off? 10 metres out from the line. Mitchell sells the dummy. That is some brilliance from the number 9. And Augustus gets the try at the end of the first half. I will correct my statement. I said that one of these two sides would be happier with the scoreline, and that would be the Saints. They will be extremely happy now with how it sits heading into this halftime break. Bulls are pathetic, says Outlaw. And so South Africa also goes up to 50 degrees. That's crazy, says Katzenel. But yeah, quick thinking, I should say, from Alex Mitchell to take a bit of a risk. The Bulls caught out. Sell the dummy. Just really smooth from the Saints. They are a great attacking side. At the end of the day, they received a bonus point last week. Scores the try there, though. Augustus, he's hardly had the ball throughout this first half. Mitchell can definitely change England's fortune, says Jimbo. Well, that's the thing. The English, with the exception of playing Japan, they've had a pretty rough run throughout the last little while. They're on a 5-match losing streak. And then they beat the Japanese. And then also, before that 5-match losing streak, they did beat Japan as well. What does the table look like? Where's Ulster at the moment? Says Katzenel. So for this group, they are actually not in it for the Ulstermen. But I think they're about second last in their group. I'll get it up on my phone because they lost their first game, didn't they? For Ulster, so we'll have a quick look. But they are going to be playing up against Bordeaux very soon. Right, what we got, Ulster, they're actually dead last with a points differential of -40 after getting destroyed by Toulouse. So, yeah, they're going to need a big game here up against Bordeaux. They're at least at home, but they come in as underdogs for that match. But the score at halftime in this contest, it is 12 points to 7 in favour of the Saints. Hopefully scoreboard does update relatively soon. But pretty interesting first half, I do have to say. Like the Bulls, honestly, they should be winning by 15 or more at this current point in time. But they now find themselves down at halftime. Mitchell hasn't had a good run with Marcus Smith. Together, they would be hot, says Jimbo. Bulls definitely don't care about this game, says Albert. See, that's the thing. It's an important game, though. You don't get too many of them in terms of those home contests for these sides. So you want to be making the absolute most of it. And so far, we just haven't seen that from the Bulls. The handling errors just out from the try line have been pretty poor. Now, that first disallowed try, that also didn't help because it seemed to stop the momentum that they did create. On this form, the Sharks will destroy the Bulls. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, no matter who's at home for that game, we've seen the Bulls at home look a little bit shaky, and we've seen them away from home look shakier. So Sharks have that home game next week, taking place at 5 a.m. New Zealand time on Sunday morning. We will, of course, be covering that one on the channel. Just looking through in terms of what else is coming up for the world of rugby. I believe we've got the Sevens next week as well. Oh, not the Sevens, the URC with Stormers Lions. That has also taken place. That is the game prior. I think they might be the only two that we've got over the weekend. I see that the KFC Big Bash does start tonight for New Zealand time, although that will be tomorrow for you guys in South Africa. I'm not actually sure if there's an easy way of watching the BBL in South Africa, though. Jake said in the latest interview, the Bulls don't care about the competition and want to concentrate on the URC, says Albert. On this form, the Sharks will destroy the Bulls. And go the Bulls, says Brawl. But yeah, it's an interesting tactic because, like, yes, it's great to concentrate on the URC, right? But they did that last year and it didn't work in the end, unfortunately, for Jake White. Like, it takes a lot of confidence, though, to say we're not concentrating on this competition. We've got another one that we want to try and win. Like, at the moment, the Bulls are sitting third, so they're in a pretty good spot on that URC table. But yeah, like, this is still a pretty similar side to what we will see in the URC. So, you know, those simple errors that they're making here, they wouldn't want to do that in their URC fixtures, or else they would really struggle. So are these the Bulls dirt trackers then? Says, cool story, bro, and JC Pretorius needs to move to Europe. South Africans are wasting his potential. And, well, if your coach keeps on telling his Bulls team they are not good enough for a tournament, they'll play as they're not good enough. Congrats, Jake. Got what you asked for, says Eric. Paul Ulster have Bordeaux next. Their negative point score about to get a whole lot worse, says Jimbo. Yeah, it's going to be a hard day at the office, that is for sure. But who knows? I mean, if this game's anything to go off, maybe there is a chance that we could see the underdog come through in that game as well. But it's going to be hard. But that does not mean it is not possible. We will go like that and like that. There we go. Yeah, second half, not too far away from taking place. They're currently showing the Women's World Cup draw. It did take place not too long ago. I am curious to know when they're going to be doing the Men's World Cup draw this time, because I know that they got a lot of criticism with how early they went with the 2023 World Cup. Got a different number of teams as well for the Australian competition, and I don't want to jinx anything, but we are hoping to cover their World Cup on the channel. Of course, it is still a few years away. Anything can happen in that time, but hopefully we're still about, and we're still doing the live streams on the channel as well. They are just showing the groups for that World Cup. New Zealand, France, and Band 1. That's going to be a great one. Hopefully we will be able to cover most of the Women's World Cup on the channel as well. It's weird for South Africa. We just had Super Rugby. That was that. Says, cool story, bro. Yeah, it's about trying to balance out so many competitions. At the end of the day, it certainly tests that squad depth. But, oh, okay, I actually got those pools wrong, by the way. New Zealand and France are not in the same group. They were in different groups. They were Band 1. The Bulls wasted 23 points in this game, says Outlaw. Yep, and it could come back to bite them near the end of this match. I wouldn't call being beaten finalists a fail. So many teams to get past, says Jimbo. Yeah, I think the thing that hurt them so much there for the Bulls was just the fact that it was at home as well. Like, we're starting to see them not quite... Like, don't get me wrong, Glasgow played a brilliant game in that final. And, yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see what happens now, because, like, because he said what he said last year as well about how this isn't the competition we're looking at. We're looking at the United Rugby Championship. People will now be zoned in watching that competition. It seems like Hamish is a woman he wants to marry. Possibly no World Cup stream, what? Says Cats. Now, I don't know if that was the reasoning behind it. I'm not sure where you got that from. But, yeah. The ideal scenario is to find someone who doesn't mind me doing random live streams at 3 a.m. But that's probably quite difficult to do, because it's quite a weird sleep schedule. Leinster tried both and won neither, says Jimbo. That is true. And Leinster have had a little bit of a bad run, haven't they, in terms of getting to playoff games. La Rochelle, they've been a real bogey team for Leinster for quite some time. Ollie Mathis looks good in the sevens. Says Ronnie. There's a few guys on that seven circuit at the moment. The younger guys are actually coming in and really making an impact, which is great to see, because a lot of the time when they thought about adding those younger guys in, a lot of people said, no, keep the experienced heads. But, you know, it's working so far, so hopefully it does work in the future as well. The Blitz Box, I think that they're a perfect example of a side that have brought in some younger guys and are starting to have a real impact. The likes of Donovan Don, and you got, you know, Shilton van Wyk. He's just an absolute superstar in that seven setup. Lost the final in this competition 3 years in a row, says Jimbo. Yeah. Which is not really a record that they want to maintain for too much longer, I wouldn't think. But yeah, they're just showing that World Cup draw for the Women's World Cup that is going to be taking place in 2025. I believe 2026 is the year of the Rugby League World Cup. And then the Cricket World Cup, I believe, is scattered throughout as well in the future. But do let me know, ladies and gents, after sitting 12 points to 7 down at halftime, do you see the Bulls being able to come back into this game? Like, they have got more than enough potential. All they need to do is hold on to a couple more passes and they will be running in try after try after try. But at the moment for the Northampton bench, it is going to be Angus Scott-Young there in that number 20 jersey, was playing in Super Rugby last year. Also had a season for Bay of Plenty, I believe, in the Bunnings NBC for the Bulls. They've got Jan Hendrik Wessels, that versatility that he offers, which was already like a dominant scrum that he will be joining. It's going to be a hard day at the office for this Northampton side, who are also down to 14, I should mention, at the time that they managed to score themselves that last try. So we'll have to wait and see how it does go. But we saw the try scored by Hendy in their number 23 jersey. That was due to the injury of George Furbank. So hopefully he is going to be all right, but it didn't look too good, like a forearm injury, something along those lines. Looked a little bit uncomfortable for him. We do hope he is all right. At the end of the day, only a couple months away from Six Nations. Altitude will help the Bulls, says Sean. And can't see past Toulouse this year, says Jimbo. Yeah, Toulouse look very strong at the moment. Like the way that they were able to beat Ulster last week. Just have a quick look. Who have they got this week, Toulouse? They have got Exeter at home for Exeter. I could see them winning that game relatively comfortably as well. I think Stade Francais versus Saracens could be a bit of an interesting game. And then also another one that I was a bit interested in was Benetton versus Bath. Just in terms of a little bit of unpredictability around that game. But it's always exciting, the Champions Cup. We get to see matches that you don't normally, I guess, expect to see in terms of the different leagues all coming together. They'll beat Exeter by 40 plus, says Bill. And Toulouse be 30 versus Exeter, says Jimbo. And I predict Toulouse will win again and get 7, says Sean. From where is the number 8 of Southampton Saints, says Desmond. So that is Ioano Augustus. I'm not sure of his origin. We'll have a quick look. Ioano Augustus is a South African rugby union player. For Ulster in the URC is what it says, but he's a Northampton boy by the looks of it. Formerly played for the Stormers in Super Rugby in the Western Province in the Currie Cup. There you go. He's born on the 9th of December 1997, which makes him 27 years old, and his birthday was 6 days ago. So a bit of a birthday gift getting a try back in South Africa. Toulouse has $1 billion budget compared to the Sharks and Bulls with a $80 million budget, says Albert. I'm sorry, but Jake White has to go. This Bulls team should be dominating everything. Should be a director and bringing some new, or someone new with newer ideas, says Neville. And Toulouse go to the Sharks in the new year, and Hamish and everyone is a good game so far. It's been a unique game, I think is the best way of describing it. Like, the Bulls have had so many opportunities to score, and have only got themselves 1. The Saints have had hardly any opportunities to score, and they've got themselves 2. So honestly, the second half's going to be very hard to predict. But the Bulls could have easily been running away with this game had they taken all their chances. If it's Toulouse, bring their A-team. That's if Toulouse bring their A-team, says Sean. And the Bulls 25, Northampton 15 from Daniel. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Bulls come out firing here. Whether or not they can get that same rhythm that they did have. Because at times, like, that's the thing that's so frustrating for them. At times they were dominating in terms of that territory and just getting right into the position where they needed to be. But they just couldn't really get that next step, which was scoring. They won't, Sean. But they will send a good team, says Jimbo. Yeah, they've got pretty good depth at the moment for Toulouse in terms of some of those younger guys coming through the ranks as well. Now, second half is nearly here. And hopefully we get to see both sides a little bit more clinical. Like they mentioned for the Bulls, I think they visited the opposition 22 about 11 times throughout that first half, whereas we only really saw the Saints in there maybe 5 times, I think it might have been. They made the most of it. Devin Williams, I'm not too sure of the extent of his injury at the moment as well. He did have a bit of a knee problem, or at least something in that leg. Hopefully he's going to be all right to continue, but like I said earlier on, they have a great bench. They have got Stedman Hans, who could go out on that wing. They've got the Chamberlain, where we could see a bit of a reshuffle perhaps. See Moody drop out to that wing position if need be. So I don't think it will be too much of an issue for the Bulls as long as they can keep good players out there on the park and just once again find that rhythm. 9% success is rubbish for a top team, says Jimbo. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, it just wasn't really working for them throughout that first half. And I'm sure that they will go into the second half with no excuses. They'll say we weren't good enough. We need to really up the momentum, up the tempo, and just work out how to score those tries, because at the end of the day, both of these sides would love a bonus point from this contest for having 4 or more tries throughout the game. And honestly, I think from here, both sides can get that. Bulls, a couple more tries go their way, they're right back in this contest. Whereas for the Saints, with lack of possession, maybe something that we will see in the second half as well, they just need to absolutely go for it when they have ball in hand. And nicely taken by JF Van Heeren. Second half back underway now. Bruce Papier rolling this one back. And Henry Pollock was trying to get himself the turnover in the breakdown. Papier kicks it downfield. Awkward swirling one. Tommy Freeman had all the time in the world to line that one up, but he has dropped it. Now passed across, another drop coming from the Bulls, so they will go back for the original penalty. Billy LaRue not happy. And like they've said, a lot of frustration at the moment for the Bulls, just because of so many times that they have had the opportunity to run in a try, but it just hasn't worked, Sweaty Bulls. Sub has to be made. Looks like it's going to be Ollie Slate home, who makes his way off the field. That is to bring on the 17, Hafar. So we have another 8.5 minutes with only 14 on the field here for the Northampton Saints. Scrums have just not been a good one for the away side today. Already we've had a minute in the second half. It's only felt like a few seconds. Ambrose Papier ready to feed this ball in again. That first half went for about an hour, which is quite impressive. Oh, a big push there from the Saints initially. Gerard Stennekamp stands up, and that could have almost, I don't know what that accent was, by the way. That kind of popped out. I don't know where I was from for half a second there. Sebastian de Klerk with a nice step. Tackled on the halfway line. I sent a guy up to play 60 seconds and get replaced, says Albert. I think it's because ideally you don't want any scrums. Like in that case, without any scrums, they would have been fine to not have to put on an extra prop. But because they went for the scrum due to the knock-on, it meant that they had to bring him on. Good chase coming here from Devin Williams. Massive in-goal areas, and the ball is forced by the Northampton Saints, and it will be a goal line dropout. And that might have just been the last-ditch effort from Devin Williams. Even with the knee injury, he almost still got there. Billy LaRue, a well-weighted kick in behind. This isn't looking too good here for Williams. It's looking like he's probably only one more run away from getting replaced. All right, what's the tactic here for the Saints? Do you boot it as long as you can? Or do you go high? It looks like they've done a little bit of a nothing one. A combination of both. Billy LaRue running onto it nicely. Gives it off to Elric Lowe. Going to be tackled, but he does go off to Marcel Kurtzia. Tackled 25 metres from the line. And Rose Papia back across to Wilco Lowe. Now pick and go from Elric Lowe this time. Papier goes to Billy LaRue, looping around Johan Goosen. Gets it on the outside to David Krill. Wrestle towards the touchline. Counter-ruck coming from the Saints. They aren't successful in their venture. Now short ball to Elric Lowe again. He's had a lot of carries throughout the start of the second half. Johan Goosen goes back to Wilco Lowe, who has knocked the ball on yet again. That is at least the second time for the big man that he has put this ball down in this match. He will not be too happy. Had a knock on in the first half, which debatably cost his side a try. And now has had it again, just snatching at it, and it just slips out of the fingertips of Wilco Lowe. Going to see this kicking behind from Billy LaRue. And really good pace shown by Tommy Freeman, though, to be able to get that ball down and control it. Now Devin Williams. To ask the question, how much longer does he have in this game before Stedman Hans does take his spot? Or like I said, we could see Moody maybe move out onto the wing. Showing the replay again of that work. And this game is going to change rhythm and pace at 60 minutes, altitude and heat. See, here's Robert. Yeah, although it's been very stop-start, which I start to wonder whether or not we will see that same kind of slump in terms of player stamina, just because this first half in particular went for about 60 minutes. For the 40, we'll have a 20-minute drinks break at 60 minutes, so they'll have maybe 2 or 3 minutes where they will be having drinks and whatnot. So, yeah, I just don't know if we will see that same decline. I could be wrong. That's going to be way too much movement at scrum time. I think the Bulls pushed early there. They're also still playing music at the ground by the sounds of it. The DJ has forgotten to press the pause button. Ulster isn't that bad. What do you mean? Says Gatson out. Yeah, they're still playing the music at the ground by the sounds of it. The DJ's got the bass drop just about to happen as these two sides are going to collide for the scrum. Oh, it's going to be the free kick going the way of the Bulls. The music's still pumping. What time is the next game? The next game will be kicking off at 7:30 p.m. South African time. Elric Lowe not held, so able to go again. Now they have decided to turn the music off. The Bulls in possession. And Bros Papia goes across to Marcel Kurtzia. I wonder if there was any hesitation to put the ball in from Northampton because of that music. And that one nice bit of work in the breakdown from Lockyer, who's locked over the ball. And Lockett, I should say. Who do you think will win? Honestly, the Bulls should, but they are definitely allowing Northampton to stay in this game. And that sounds weird to say when you look at the scoreboard sitting 12 points to 7, but the Bulls have had countless opportunities that they just haven't been able to put it together. I'm about to put a $35 parlay money line on Northampton. Says Dabian there. I'm not sure what the odds would be at the moment. I assume they'd be slight underdogs. Bulls will win with the bonus point. Says Albert, and Loftus says the worst DJ on earth. Says Albert. And he's back in. Yeah, so Lockett was able to go for that ball. And Bros Papia didn't look like he put in much effort to try and rip that ball out of his hands either. He was kind of just slapping it, hoping that player would release. Another line out here, but first of all, we've got a shoe getting tied up for Cameron Honeycomb. Oh, okay, we got a stoppage here. I think it was the medic for the Bulls. Do you know Lexi? No, I do not. Oh, that's going to be another mistake at line-out time from the Saints. Oh, they're going to get march forward 10 here. They were trying to take it quickly. Weren't able to do so. So yeah, I think they might have got a march in that case. And Papia now, free kick for the Bulls. Once again, like, Saints have been far from flawless in this game, and it's just more of the case of, can the Bulls find their rhythm, start getting some tries on the board in quick succession. Back across to the right-hand side, Johan Goosen goes across to Willy LaRue, across to Moody, inside ball, goes to David Krill, another offload up to Cameron Heineken. Now Moody, the pick and go there again. Papier goes across to Marcel Kurtzia. Johan Goosen to Willy LaRue, passes on the outside to Lowe. He needed to pass that ball, but he decides to go himself. Devon Williams was wide open on the left-hand side. LaRue, he's playing. Oh, Wilco Lowe, he's dropped the ball for a third time in this game. He puts his hand up and apologises. That man, I don't think he'll be too far off getting subbed off. He looked like Tom Latham and a bit of Mr. Beast, says Charles. Right, looks like a sub is about to be made. We're going to see the number 1, Jorgen, make his way, Jorgen makes his way back on. I want to come back, says Charles. Back to 15. Once again, the Bulls, they've just been, they've had chances. Wilco Lowe has had a shocker at the moment, and he's not the only one out there on the field. That pass earlier on, Elric Lowe missed the opportunity to go out wide. Got a little bit of goal line fever. Like they're saying, a lot of disappointment for Willy LaRue at the moment. As he's had some pretty good passes. Wilco Lowe swapped his hands and feet, says Grant. Do see Jan-Hendrik Vessels now making his way into the middle of the scrum, coming on for Aka van der Merwe. Wilco Lowe here's off for Francois Klopper. That is no surprise. You can only let him away with so many drops. That's once again going down at scrum time. Scrums have been utterly ugly in this game so far. I'll point at left once again, says Charles. Aka van der Merwe getting handshakes from his teammates here. Yeah, just going down the front of the scrum. Alex Mitchell about to feed this one in. Scrum resets, we've seen 4 for Northampton, 1 for the Bulls. Right, there's some sort of stability to this one. Mitchell puts the ball in and it comes straight out the back. Now Mitchell sends it downfield. Doesn't get it the cleanest off the boot, so he'll be about 40 metres out now with the line-out throw for the Bulls. Aka van der Merwe having a bit of a chat there with Wilco Lowe. You will know that he could have done a bit more in this game. You always shout out every person who messages on the chat. I try my best to. At the end of the day, I always think of it as you guys have gone through the effort of writing the message, so the least I can do is read it out rather than, like, ignoring them. I do try my best. Oh, that's a nice run from Gerhard Stennekamp. Now, 30 metres out from the line, advantage there for not rolling away. Willy LaRue looking for the pass, can't get it through. Second advantage there in the breakdown. I think that's for offside. Now Kane and Moody near the touchline. Good low tackle made. And they'll go back for the original advantage. Who is the Bulls coach these days? Jake White is the man in charge of this Bulls side. And Wilco can't handle the heat with his 138 kgs. I can see why Finn Smith hasn't broke through into the English camp. Should have grabbed control of this game by now. Yeah, like, it's just been, like, in terms of that 19 combat, it's been Mitchell all day, hasn't it? For Northampton. Like, Mitchell did that quick tap to then get the pass on the outside. And, like, he's distributed all right, Smith. Like, in terms of his, like, little pop pass up to the centres. But other than that, we haven't seen a huge amount. Rugby is so hard to follow compared to USA football, says KDM there. And hello in the chat as well. Welcome in, KDM. Hope you are doing well. Oh, they've gone to the front there for the Bulls, and it's going to be going down. I think it's going to be stuck there. Jan-Hendrik Vessels trying to free up the ball, and it has now popped out the back. Ruan Vermaak, couple metres out from the try line now. And Bros Papier goes across to Klopper, who has caught the ball more than Wilco Lowe, was in that starting side. Vermaak gets within a couple metres. Now Papier goes across. Do they use their backline here? I think it's the better option. The forwards have let them down a little bit. I got Northampton on money line in AE, says KDM. What are Northampton paying at the moment? Are they favourites or are they underdogs? I honestly wouldn't be able to tell you. I assume they're favourites, but the Bulls will not be too far away from getting back into it. It's chipped in behind Kane Moody scored, but him and Villy LaRue both went for the same ball, and they almost both knocked that ball on. A real miscommunication. Moody said, get out of it, LaRue. I'm the young guy. I want the glory for that one. But I think they've given it to Kane and Moody, but honestly, Villy LaRue, I think it was his to score. He was the one who was in the right place, and he was the first receiver. They've knocked it on. Kane and Moody knocked that ball on as he went to ground it. I think that they might have another look at this. Yeah, they're going to check it. That is utterly terrible from the Bulls. To have two guys going for the same ball and in the end push each other off it and knock it on. Like, you can't write this. That's awful. Hamish, your face made me fall off the roof, says Albert. I hope Northampton is favoured, says KDM. They were 4-point winners in last night's book. So, yeah, this is going to be a knock-on in what sums up what has to be the worst Bulls performance. Yeah, that's a knock-on. Idiotic is about the only way you can describe that. If that's a knock-on, then that's shocking from two Springboks. And it is a knock-on. A miscommunication, separation there. Now, I honestly do think, like, Kane and Moody almost won the foot race, but Villy LaRue, I believe, was the intended target for that kick. So I do think that's Moody's bad more than LaRue, but that's going to be a no try. That's so bad. Like, there's not much else you can say other than it's awful. It's hard not to swear about how bad it is for the Bulls at the moment, but it just sums up their day. Bulls are playing badly, says Coas. They absolutely are. Yeah, luckily for them, they still had the penalty. Bulls look like clowns at the moment, says Johan. I'll just blame it on the heat. I mean, you can. They'd enjoy if you did. Is the game finished? No, it's still going. Tell me Villy is fuming. He will be, because I believe he was the man who was intended to get that ball. FK and Moody, we bet it with our money here, says Quandile. Looks like they're going to go for the quick tap, and Bros Papier goes across there into midfield. David Creel, Maina Vanua off the field for Monga. Now across again, Marcel Kurtzia. I feel like Villy LaRue needs a try in this game. Like, he's worked extremely hard, and he's just very annoyed with his teammates, as he should be, with the way that they've played. How red is Villy's face? You know, he's not a happy man at the moment, but he'll be hoping that this game can turn around. Oh, it's another knock-on from Klopper. This is awful. This is just really, really, really bad. Like, really bad. So far, the best thing about this game has been your commentary. Thanks, Hamish. Says Russell, this is the limit of Hamish's disgust. Honestly, I can't remember a game recently that a team has played as badly as we've seen here. Like, the amount of errors that they've made, they should be up by 30 points in this game. They've had so many chances. Bulls mind not on the field, says Julian. And is that down to the comments from the coach saying we don't care about this competition, we're looking at the URC? Another knock on, the Bulls don't want to win this game. Says Grant, handling errors, 10 from the Bulls, 5 from Northampton. Is Pollard playing tonight? He is. Going up against... Well, the Sharks got it 10. I think it's Sia Masuku for this upcoming game. Villy is the elder. He has a right to be angry at his team, says Jimbo. And there's another penalty at scrum time going the way of the Saints. Like, Northampton... on another day here, like, I don't want to take away the fact that they've scored 2 tries, but on another day, they could have been utterly embarrassed at Loftus, right? And it's just not the case. How many games do they play? They've got about 5 of the group stage. But just the one today. The next one's in about mid-January, I believe. But now thrown in at line-out time. Nicely claimed by Munga. They should have score should have been 35-12. Yeah, at least all ripped away there. And the breakdown, the Bulls ending up in position. No, in fact, there's going to be a penalty advantage in their favour. Or at least a knock-on advantage. They'll go back now for the scrum. Oh no, back to the penalty. So penalty, that is for ripping the ball. No, it's for not rolling away. I'm not sure what the ref's seen there. How much time left? Still another 25 minutes remaining in this match. Right. Another chance here for Northampton. We're going to see it here. There was a good strip in the end, so that isn't a knock-on, of course, in that case. But now Finn Smith. Oh, another knock-on. No, penalty goes away on Northampton. Not rolling away goes against the Bulls again. The ref missed the rip, I think. Tackler must release. Right, I think if you're Northampton, you take the 3 here. You take the points, you get ahead, or are they kicking for the corner? What's the mentality? They will go for the points. I could please give a shout out to my long-suffering wife, Brovin, who doesn't understand why I spend my Saturdays watching a guy watching rugby. Says Robert. To be fair, it's a very confusing situation, because she probably is wondering why you don't just watch it yourself, but instead you watch me talk about something that you could watch elsewhere. So I guess she's probably rightfully confused, but shout out to Bronvin. Hopefully I've said your name correctly, or else she might not like me very much. It's all falling apart. It is. It's honestly, it's not rock bottom yet, but I don't know what they could have done worse in this game for the Bulls. They've dominated scrum time, or at least they have at some stages throughout this match. But, what is the mentality going into next week now? If you played like this today, the URC, you go into that game knowing that that's the competition you want to concentrate on. So that's so late from Sebastian Leclerc. That could have been a penalty as well. Augustus gets the offload, though. Now ball on the outside to Ollie Slateholm. He will kick it down the park. Cleaned up by Villy LaRue at the back, looking for his next pass. Gets it away to the big man, Cameron Heineken. Tackled on the halfway line. Should we worry? And when she catches you... the Bulls deserve this. Yeah, now only another 22 minutes left. Little chip and wine from Villy LaRue. Finds a bit of open space, but it sits up now for the youngster Hendy, who already has scored 1 try in this match. Finds the offload to Alex Mitchell, who will send it downfield, looking for the 50-22. If it bounces, oh, what a kick. What a kick that is. 5 metres out from the line. Northampton will have the line-out feed. That is a fantastic kick from a man-of-the-match type of performance from Alex Mitchell here. Jake White must go. The level of play is unacceptable, says Abel's channel, and Bulls are like Stormers, says William Moses, but what a 50-22. Mitchell's hardly put a foot wrong today, and the fact that rolled out 5 metres from the line, now chance at a rolling maul, looping around, deciding to run it instead. Freeman goes over, and that is the 3rd try of the match for the Northampton Saints. Now they're only 1 away from a bonus point. And Loftus, the crowd are confused at what they are seeing here. I'm surprised Jake White's still coaching, says Doctor. I mean, he's made it perfectly clear that the URC was the focus. And I have to say, they've played like it. To be down 22 points to 7 here, up against, honestly, I don't want to sound terrible, and I don't want to sound like I'm discrediting it, but Northampton have looked below average today. They've had a few good runs. Mitchell's looked phenomenal in their 9 jersey, but they haven't done... Oh, he's actually knocked that ball on by the looks of it, Tommy Freeman, when he scored it. Yep, they're going to check it. I think this is going to be disallowed now that I saw that replay. We're going to get another TMO involvement Oh no, 1 minute water break. Wait, how can we check everything else but we not check that one? But the TMO is now checking it, I think, with the water break taking place. I think Freeman's messed this up. Yeah, that's a knock on. Crowd are not happy with it. He isn't. He's taking a paycheck at Loftus. With Mitchell back on to his best, I'm calling England to be top 2 in the Six Nations. Hello from Ireland. Says Padraig, welcome in, mate. Hope you are keeping well. Right, they're going to show the replay again to see the separation, which there was. They might argue that his other hand was still on it, but I don't think they can. Oh, referee speaking in French, which means I have no idea what he said. Can't believe what I'm seeing. Bulls are playing all the rugby and are getting battered. Yeah, I don't think I've seen a side have so much position and territory and be behind in the game at this point. If URC is their goal, and why complain if they're getting a hiding in the championship? Says Zhang, I don't think it's so much complaining that they're getting a hiding. I think it's more so complaining at how they're playing. Because, like, they're playing next week in the URC, and this is, like, so below par in terms of the Bulls. And it's not so much, like, it's not the tactics that are wrong, if that makes sense. They could have been winning this game by 30 points. But I think the thing that's been hurting them so much is just the little errors, the knock-ons when they're on attack, which will heavily cost them in the URC if they do that in their next game. Do you think the Sharks are going to win? If you're basing it off this performance, you'd say the Sharks should win comfortably, but you just don't know. Maybe they've got something up their sleeve. Like, this is still one of the best sides that the Bulls could have put onto the field. They certainly haven't played like it. And that try is actually going to stand, so that won't make the crowd any happier. Has the Bulls had any injuries yet? Devin Williams had a bit of one, but he stayed on the field. So many knock-ons, says Grant. And the Bulls must focus to come back in this game. Not wasting my time with this rubbish anymore. Goodbye, Hamish. Thank you. Says Outlaw. And they're not concentrated enough then. Yeah, and like that's one of those things that maybe, you know, if you're told going into the game, you know, we're not that worried about this one. You know, we're looking at next week. Then maybe there's just a little bit of that attacking mentality that the Bulls are normally known for. They're known for being an aggressive side, putting in the big hits, monstering their way over the try line, but they don't have that today. So, I don't know, maybe that is something that they've switched off for this game. Like, territory, 71%, possession 66. There is nothing in that says that Northampton should be beating them at the moment by 15 points. I came for the bid and got the rubbish Cookie Monster. The Bulls are a top team playing at home. Doesn't matter the competition, says Jimbo. Yeah, I'm surprised that wasn't called as a knock-on against Tommy Freeman there. Oh, Heineken ends up getting around and he will score the try for the Bulls. That looks so easy. Bulls are clearly holding back and avoiding injuries, says Albert. Yeah, but that's the thing. If you're going to do that, they might as well have done what Jake White did last year and send out your B team, because he sent them over to England to get absolutely pasted last year. So, you know, if he was going to do that with the same mindset of, I don't want my key players to get hurt, surely you at least give that younger side a go, don't you? Unless you're coming into this game expecting to win. But that one has gone over, now making the score 22 points to 14. I feel like that one takes back that one that was given for the Saints that maybe wasn't a try. The Bulls are bad, says Doctor. Yeah, missed tackle from Alex Mitchell. Probably one of his first mistakes that he's made of the day, but when you're having Cameron Heineken running at you after he's just bulldozed the ref, you probably don't want to get in his way. He'd be fired up and rearing to go. Now kicked off by the Saints. Their defence has got gaps. And there's another knock on. This time it's Elric Lowe who has dropped the ball. Just too many errors coming for them at the moment. Now the game starting to have a few more gaps defensively for both of the teams. Maybe going to be a draw, says Soraya. I'd be surprised. I don't see the Bulls going for a three-pointer from here. Okay, Devin Williams now going off for Stedman Hans, who has now made his way on. Bulls is back into the game to win, says William Moses. Yeah, both of these sides, like I said, at halftime, they have the potential of getting a bonus point win here. 16 visits to the opposition 22, 14 points, which gives them a 0.9 points per visit. Whereas for Northampton, they've had a 3.2 points per visit, which shows how little they've had. They've only had, I think it's 5 or 6 visits. And now another penalty going against the Bulls at scrum time. Can't believe how bad the Bulls are today. Schoolboy errors, says Robert. Yeah, once again, I don't want to try and sound too harsh here, but I do think this is probably, in my opinion, the worst, it could be the worst Bulls performance we've seen since joining the URC. There's been a few rough ones along the way, but honestly, in terms of, possession and territory is great for them. And the scrums have been strong, but in terms of what they've got on the points table here, I think that maybe isn't too harsh. The Saints going to score 7 more tries, says Doctor. Bulls' heart not in it. It doesn't seem to be, unfortunately. Just too many mistakes being made. That one kicking in behind from the chip, and then Billy LaRue and Kanan Moody pushing each other off the ball to then knock it on. That didn't look good. A dinosaur Jake's head must be close to exploding now, says Grant, although they did get themselves the penalty just out from their line now, kicking it downfield, and they've got the rolling maul, breaking off the back. Jan-Hendrik Wessels, this game's starting to open up here for the Bulls, the big Fen coming in. The Bulls were pretty bad last week. They were, but I still think that weather conditions, considered, with the rain and the swirling wind as well that they were playing in, it wasn't completely terrible, I would say. How's it, Hamish? Hope you're well, bro. Bulls seem to be playing bad, says Jason. Yeah, they've been struggling a little bit throughout this game. That one's going to go into touch. Eldrick Low, not quite able to bring it in. Do the Bulls know that we bet with money, not stones, says Quandile. Well, hopefully you haven't bet a huge amount on them. It just shows the unpredictability of rugby. Your criticism isn't as harsh as the scoreline, says Russell. Yeah, on a different day, if the Bulls are taking their chances, they could honestly be on 40 points at the moment. They were, Albert. They were at the end of a long trip from home. That's going to be a loose ball. Northampton managing to clean it up. Run for the mark. That is power shown by the big lock. It's now going to be a lot. Hang on. What's happened here? Alex Mitchell has the ball. Wait, what's going on? We've got 2 balls. Jan-Hendrik Wessel's going for the line out. Alex Mitchell was getting ready to go for a quick tap. But it's actually going to be the line out here. Bond squad coming. They got this, says Samuel. And our Bulls must regroup with replacements now. And Bruce Papier goes across. Now Husson goes to Creel. Cameron Hanekom, he has been trying in this game. It's been a little while since we've seen a Bulls handling error, though, so that is a bonus. Wait to see me jinx that one. Another Creel goes across now. 40 metres out from the line here. Billy LaRue goes across to Johan Husson, gets the offload to Moody. It was flat. Now a little flick on the inside to Ambrose Papier. There's a handling error, but it's from Northampton this time. They were trying to link up, and they didn't do too badly at all there. The pick and go around the side of the breakdown from Nabakaba. Gets it off to Billy LaRue. Deserves a try for how he's played in this game. Hanekom looks for the offload. There was the knock on there twice from Sebastian de Klerk. And it should be a Northampton scrum, but Hanekom looks frustrated or injured. Oh, this is really bad for Hanekom. This looks like a knee or the lower leg. If they've been trying their best to avoid injuries, that has not worked here. England will capitulate, and they were, Albert. They were at the end of a long trip from home. Nice work there from Johan Husson. Forward pass to Kanan Moody, but that didn't get called. And then a knock on from Tommy Freeman. Commentary of India versus Australia, BGT test. Says Jagannath. I've been keeping an eye on it. Oh no, he managed to regather that for a start and then slammed his face on the ground, Sebastian de Klerk. So did have a knock on anyway. Bulls will pull it off in extra time. Says, good story, bro. And I know Honeycomb. Yeah, no, he does not look good at the moment, Cameron Honeycomb. This looks like some sort of leg injury that might put him out. I don't want to jinx it, but honestly, could be the season. Doesn't look good at the moment for Heineken. Bulls missed 8 tries already. This is a joke. So here's Jaden. Oh, he's back to his feet. Is he gonna try and walk it off? He's trying to run it off. Is it working? Okay, he's gonna continue. That's a big call from Heineken. It looked quite serious, and now he's just got up like it was nothing. Oh, a bit of a counter ruck there from the Bulls, but they've given away another penalty in the breakdown. This crowd is not happy with what they have seen from their home side today. Loftus, known as one of those grounds that are extremely hard to beat the Bulls at. At the moment, the Saints are looking like they're going in the right direction. Ref is Rogue, says Bhavani there. Rogue ref, says Bhavani, and Bulls score. Just no must win. If it's ligaments, you will know it, says Albert. Yeah, he looks like he's all right now, though. Might have just been a bit of a knock to the knee, I would say. Alex Mitchell now passing him behind. Bit of a handling error there from the Saints. That's a forward pass, and it's gone straight to the hand of Moody. Now Stedman Hans manages to clean it up. There should be an advantage at the moment for the Bulls. Yep, there is. Now, Heineken, that was accidental offside, I think, from the Bulls. But here comes Villy LaRue. Gets it across to Sebastian de Klerk. And they'll go back for the original penalty. And hard for who, Hamish? Says Doctor. Hard for who? What did I say about hard? I've already forgotten. But 11 minutes left now. Like they've said, it's a high-tempo game of rugby. The scrum has been called by the Bulls. They know if they can get another knock-on, or not a knock-on, but another scrum penalty in their favour, maybe we see Northampton back down to 14 at the end of this game. It's certainly been a hard day at the office for this Bulls team, but they've got 10 minutes. This could still be 3 more quick-fire tries to get them back into this game. That would actually also give them a bonus point if they were able to even get themselves 2 here. My silence during this match depicts my total disappointment, both officiating and the Bulls play. Another big scrum and the advantage going in the Bulls' favour. Cameron Heineken, he's got another try. He's trying to turn it up to that next level, and the Bulls now back in this game yet again. 19 points to 22. They're starting to be clinical, maybe, this Bulls team. The crowd have come alive. Heineken, he still does not look like he's 100%, but he's got 2 tries today. 2 crucial ones as well. When his team has needed it the most, that is when he's been able to step up. Once again off a scrum, where they just haven't defended. Northampton have decided to stop tackling Heineken. Well, that's the thing. Northampton throughout today haven't actually, like, once again, it sounds harsh, but they haven't defended that well. They've left a lot of gaps for the Bulls to run through. We've got to remember, the Bulls have had 16 or 17, maybe even 18 visits now to the Northampton 22. And that is mainly because of those tackles that they've just allowed the Bulls to drift straight through. Heineken, though, they don't like to try and tackle him off the back of a scrum. Now, a kick that has gone over, 21 points to 22. Foes from tearing an ACL to scoring a try. Oh, hang on, what's this? We're not going TMO, are we? No, we're going to sub. Number 14 will make his way from the field. That will be Sebastian de Klerk, and that is going to be more than likely for... Wait, there's a bit of confusion here by the sounds of it, but 14 will be off Sebastian de Klerk, and that is going to be for Mjota Chamberlain. No, in fact, now it looks like Creel's going to make his way from the field. He's saying, I'm number 12, referee. You've got the wrong guy. How much minutes left? Still another 9 minutes remaining. Augustus just gave up on the chase. Says Grant. Yeah, in a game that I would think is quite important, you'd think that they'd go a little bit harder at trying to defend it. A drop goal game, says Doctor. Yeah, although I think both sides will be chasing a try. At the end of the day, one more try for either side will get them more than likely the 5-point win rather than the 4 points. Now, Zach Berger Kicks a high, Kane and Moody starting to chase after. It looks like he's taken on more of a winger's role here, and he has slipped over. Oh, that's a big clean out to his knees and a penalty, a really dumb one. No need to retaliate now, though. And he's going to be careful not to get this one reversed. Indy looked to help Kane and Moody up, and he pretty much said go away. Now a little bit of push and shove between these two sides starting to kick off there at Loftus. I told you the Bulls will win with a bonus point. Here's Albert. Saints counting down the seconds. Straight off the feet, though. Ended up hitting him hard. There was almost a retaliation there. Eldrick saying, but he pushed us after we gave away the penalty, ref. Crowd are not happy about it either. They will take on the 3 again. No. This, I don't think, is the right decision. Well, it's a hard kick. I don't think this is the right decision. The Saints, to win this game, they need another try. And maybe that is something. Like, Grant's got a very good point there about the altitude and the heat. Maybe that's why they've decided to go for the 3. Yeah, bit of retaliation from the number 21, Tom Pearson. The crowd want a penalty, but they don't realise the reason he retaliated was because Heineken tried to decapitate his kneecaps. The crowd are going to be booing this the whole way here. Finn Smith trying to line up this kick to give them that little bit more of a lead. Like I said, it is a tough kick. But he's got it over. 24 points to 21. Scoreboard, it wouldn't be a day without it making it slightly... Oh, sorry, yeah, 25 rather than 21. Come on the Bulls. Says the under there. A 4-point lead now for the Northampton Saints. Is it going to be enough? I think that the Bulls will go for a try here. And if they walk away from this game with 5 points, fair play. Oh, Ollie Slate home though. Open space, pure pace from that man. He's got a prop on his inside, so he will chip it in behind himself. And it's going to just go in the in-goal area. Bjorta Chamberlain forces it down. Cameron Heineken, just no need to push and shove. Oh, it's just... They're going to get themselves penalised here if they're not careful. Honeycomb's got it in the face. Whatever works, I guess, in terms of trying to fire him up. But he's going to end up giving away something soon and look like an absolute donut. And thank you for the shout-out to my Bronvin. I actually really appreciate it. It says Robot. Oh, sorry, it says Robert, I should say. Just need one try from the Bulls to win 1 million. Says Quandile. And try time says Samuel. Decapitate his kneecaps. It certainly is a group of words, says Grant. And Bulls better not panic. No choice but to score a try. And now it's going to be kicked off for the the goal line dropout. Alex Mitchell going back across to Angus Scott Young, trying to lock himself over the ball with Cameron Heineken, but he's not able to get it. Drop goal attempted here from Northampton. I'm not sure about that either. And it's missed away to the side. See, Northampton have tried to lose this game multiple times. Like, if they get there, at best case scenario, you're drawing. Or like, a worst case scenario, I should say. But why? Why not just attack? You've scored 3 tries. You've got English international wingers out on the sides. They're saying not a bad option, but it only gives them a 7-point lead if it goes over. And now the Bulls have booted that one way downfield, and they're in a worse position now. And Finn Smith's decided to kick it back again. Oh, coach was on the field, not the coach, but the medic. Billy LaRue looking for the sideline. Just go down the middle of the field. Saints are knackered, says Jimbo. And what's your name, bro? My name is Hamish. Now, Northampton chasing after that. Slap back by Freeman. Nicely controlled by Hendy, who's close to the sideline. Picked up. Oh, no, there's a knock on there from the Bulls first. Where did he find that one? And now scrum for the Saints again. Northern Hemisphere Bull play drop goals. Says Doctor. I mean, someone did say earlier on that they thought there would be a drop goal, but that was more so to win the game rather than... Yeah, so it is off the hands of Kane and Moody. In that case. His friends call him Murphy, but you can call him Hamish. Says... Cool story, bro. Why do people call me Murphy? And the Bulls are in such a bad form right now, says Enrico. Just the action areas. There's been 80% of this game 70% for the Bulls. Hamish the Granny Lover, says Grant. It's also a name that doesn't get thrown around too often. It's about to be put in there. Ball is available. The ball is out. Cameron Heineken. In fact, no, it's Zach Berger this time. Saints having to protect it for dear life. 4 minutes remaining. They're being told to use it. They just need one more try, and that would win them this game. They've got a 4-point lead at the moment. Ruan Vermaak looking for the counter-attack and the breakdown. Now Angus Scott Young tackle well again. The Saints, can they get that last one? Pass on the outside. Freeman for the corner, and they get the try that will not only give them a bigger lead in this game, but it will win them this contest with 3.5 minutes remaining in the game. And a bonus point for the Saints here. They came in as $4.20 underdogs at the start of this match. It's brilliantly done out wide. Freeman, like I said, they had world-class wingers out there on the start, or from the start of this game. They needed to use it. Moody to getting caught in no man's land. Bulls, the beard, says a doctor. And well done to the Saints, says Araya. Yeah. They have been far from perfect in this game, but they have taken their chances when they've had them. They haven't had many. And they've averaged maybe about a 3 or 4 point every time they make their way into the Bulls 22. Whereas the Bulls have only averaged, I think it's like 0.9 each visit. Maybe it's a little bit higher now, about 1.2, but it's not great. Well done, the Saints, says Kobus. Now getting ready to line up this kick. The crowd booing, trying to put him off. If he gets this kick over, that means that the Bulls, even if they got a 3-pointer, would not end up with a bonus point from this game. They have to get a try. And worst comes to worst, if they get a try in the next 2 minutes, they will actually walk away from this game with 2 points. Finn Smith has missed it. Now, 1 minute 50 remaining on the clock. Just nice distribution of the ball out wide. Somehow it ended up with, I think that was actually the replacement prop. We had to try and make the last ditch ankle tap. Chasing that one hard was, I think it was Sebastian de Klerk. He almost got there. The Saints now, they've got 90 seconds remaining in this game. Last thing they want to do is concede now. Mornay Stain would disagree with your Northern Hemisphere comment, says Jimbo. Right, they've given man of the match to Cameron Heineken. He will be on the losing side for this match, but he has scored 2 tries and also has had a couple good turnovers in the process. Zach Berger going back across to Ruan Vermaak. And it isn't too often a side. Well, that's the thing though. Like, yes, he's on the losing side, but this team has still had, oh, that's another knock on from Johan Goosen. In fact, I think he even struggled to get a hand to it. How fast that pass went across. There was a knock on. Says the referee, Nabakaba, looking for the turnover and the breakdown. Told you the Bulls won't win with a bonus point. I don't think that's quite what you said, Albert. I think if we went back and had a look, you might have said they were going to win with the bonus point. Disappointing play and officiating. The ref can be blamed for the bad officiating, but the Bulls are the blame for their loss, says Neville. Yeah. They've made a lot of mistakes throughout this game, the Bulls, and now they have to try and regroup before the next week's game up against the Sharks. 20 seconds remaining. Alex Mitchell asking for the time. Ref ignores him. They will continue passing it across till they hear that full-time siren, although Nabakaba almost got that turnover. I told you Bulls won't win in overtime. Says cool story, bro. Back across again. This will be frustrating for the Bulls, but I think frustrating is pretty much the word of the day for the side. Back into the pocket, booting it out, and a very impressive win for the Saints at Loftus. 9-point victory. The Bulls walk away with the big fat 0 from this game in terms of points, and their points differential now drops to -31 after just the first 2 games. Okay, I was disappointed. Thanks for your commentary, Hamish. Says Russell there. Yeah, they've got to come a long way before next week. That is for sure for this Bulls side, because that was one of their worst games that we have seen in the last few years, if not longer. The Saints, they got themselves the win. A bonus point win in this case. far from perfect as well. Their scrum was getting dominated for most of this game. They also gave away quite a few penalties throughout that first half, but the Bulls couldn't put points to possession, and they did lose this game. But now, next game that is happening, ladies and gentlemen, it's not too far away, about 2.5 hours till that next one will be taking place. That was a shocking performance from the Mutants in Pretoria. Says Grant, it's up to the Sharks, says Tyrone, and the Sharks, they are going to be playing Leicester Tigers. That is happening at 6:30am New Zealand time, and then the other game that has taken place after that is going to be the matchup between the Stormers and the Harlequins. So we've still got 2 more games that are taking place, but with that win there, we do see the Bulls, they have dropped down to dead last with a points differential of -31. Northampton, they're at the top of the bunch with +39 as their differential. Bookies want their money back. Says Jimbo, honestly, like, the Saints coming in as a $4.20 underdog I thought was far too high. But I didn't bet on it because I don't get things right. But yeah, like, they were always going to be within 7 points, I feel, in this game. But they could have been beaten by 25 if the Bulls had taken their chances, but they just weren't able to. And that was pretty much the summary of the day. Just not enough work being put in for the Bulls to really do anything, get the win. It was pretty far from it at times. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy this live stream, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is greatly appreciated you all being here. That next live stream, we have got a 15-minute build-up planned for that matchup between Leicester Tigers and the Sharks. So that is going to be starting in 2 hours and 15 minutes time. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, like I said, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I will see you all for the next one.